Hello, and welcome to Betty's Boneyard. Hi, I'm Deana Mollé. Join me along with Betty Long in Betty's Boneyard.
Oh my God! We know what that means.
Yes, we do.
We've got dog mail.
I can't wait.
Oh my God! Let's see what we got. Come on, bring it to us.
Thank you.
Hey! You're looking pretty good there, buddy. Hey, what's up?
You're horrible. But through some of the dating I've gone through and just personal life experiences, height is really not the end all to end alls.
Right.
There are some wonderful men out there that are 5'5", but I prefer not to breastfeed someone while I'm standing. I mean, be that as it may. I'm taller, like I said. Taller guys are, for me, a little bit better, but I don't know, I'm open-minded. I am.
I'm open-minded too to breastfeeding, but so is my husband. But
Oh my
I guess we'll hear it from one of her stories of how breastfeeding transpires over into the dating scene. I have no
That'll
idea.
be probably for another time.
Okay.
That'll be another time, for sure.
In that case, shall we get on with the story?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. Let's hear it. Let's hear the story.
So basically, in a nutshell, this lady got set up on this blind date.
Okay.
And she was, of course, skeptical, but because of the friend that set her up, she loved her, she trusted her, by all means. She said, okay, let's do this. There was a little bit of a backstory that was told as far as this gentleman. He was actually married and in an open relationship, and he was allowed to date and see other people. And so, therefore, they meet up, and she's like, wah, wah, wah. Okay. He's not as tall as I thought. He has a very interesting voice. This guy's in an open relationship?
Wait a second.
Wait,
Can
what?
I rewind up? a
Yeah,
little bit?
please.
What kind of a voice did this individual
Very
have?
flamboyant.
Okay.
Super flamboyant, and it was completely unexpected. I mean, no judgment, and that's fine, but it just threw her off her game
Interesting.
a little bit.
Interesting.
So she's not prudish, she's not really rude. So, okay, one drink, maybe fake that she's got, sorry.
Can we at least give this person a name?
Randy,
Randy. Ooh, Randy.
double meaning.
Your story's being told, Randy.
Randy was Randy. But she ends up excusing herself and going to the bathroom.
Okay.
Texting her friend that set her up, going, what the heck are you doing to me? Why would you? Have we not talked enough? Do you not know my type? And all she got back in a reply was, LOL, LOL, have a good time, kissy face. So she's now realizing, I have to seriously carry on with this date. This really sucks. Okay. She's going to make the best of it. So she goes back, decides to have a couple of more tequila shots. And you know what? She tells me that throughout the night, he was just very kind and very sweet and not really hitting on her. They mutually knew that he was in an open relationship and whatnot. And she did tell me that she was going to make sure that she eventually spoke to the wife or husband, I guess. I don't know. He said he seemed flamboyant, I guess. So who knows? I don't know. But
These days you have no idea.
you don't know. You have to ask.
If the significant other is male or female.
Right.
So at this point, let's just leave that open.
Okay, partner.
Exactly. Partner.
Okay. And so, moving forward, she enjoys her night. He kind of, touched her a little bit here and there, but because of his genuineness and being kind, it didn't really bother her too much. Now, I don't know if it was a liquid courage that allowed her to be more open and more sweet, I guess, back. But as the night pretty much ended, he asked if he could walk her to her car. She said yes. She let him walk her to the car. And because it was super cold, he kind of just before saying goodbye, moseyed his way around to the front, sat in the passenger seat because they weren't done talking. So this connection formulated a natural one, not so sexual, but it was just a really natural, sweet charismatic connection. So they don't want the night to end. But as they kept talking, and now they're sitting a little bit closer than they were even at the bar, he just all of a sudden leans in and kisses her.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how did she say the kiss was?
Magnetic. And she
Interesting.
gave into it. And she really enjoyed it. And I think all of the pretentious attitude she had at the beginning pretty much melted away.
It went away with how many shots of tequila and a French kiss? That was, I'm sure, deeply in the throat all times.
Or Latin kiss, maybe. I guess we could call it a kiss.
He was Latin.
Yeah, right? Latino. She was not apologetic for any of it. But that, it didn't stop there. No. She, I think she felt grateful for the evening, and much to my dismay of what I heard, what happened next, excuse me, see, I'm choked up over this.
And she's only telling the
I'm
story.
only telling the story. I mean, it's already flustering. I mean, goodness. I mean, it's interesting because she knew of his sexual background. So it was in the back of her head. And so with how it was flowing, how they were jiving, all of a sudden she wanted to experience some of the photos that she saw.
Wait a second. Photos?
Did I not mention photos? Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So her friend
Photos.
showed her photos of certain things and parts of him, and they were pretty intriguing, actually. Yeah, women can be shallow, just as shallow, but I think it enticed her. I think actually that's what made her want to go on the date.
So I'm assuming that these were not selfies. These were definitely...
Oh, they were selfies to a degree. There was lots of angles to the selfies, yeah. There were selfies.
Okay, are you talking that they were cock shots?
Sure.
Oh my God! And by the way, that was the word of the night, cock. Sorry, it was. We're in the Boneyard, hello.
We are completely in the Boneyard, and this is a very bona fide conversation. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So she wanted to, I think, see for herself if it was true and legit. And so I think she took charge and decided to see for herself. And I don't think he minded whatsoever. And so she did orally please him. That was as far as it went. And she got very choked up about it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So...
And that was quite the good night kiss. I think that's how it ended. And it's funny because she actually knew she was never going to see him again. But due to the... I totally interrupted you. You're about to say something. Yeah, you're speechless too, right? You're choked up.
I'm choked up right now. Okay. Now, since I am a married woman and I would never probably end up in a parking lot giving oral pleasure to a complete, to me, random stranger, although it was a hookup on behalf of a friend of mine.
There was a connection, a mutual friendship, you know.
Right, but I guess so. But I guess maybe if I did receive some cock shots, I would definitely feel a little bit more acquainted with him, and I'd want to meet not just him, but his, and I can be just as shallow in a sense for just talking about it. But did she, by chance, obviously she pleasured him orally and choked up, so I'm assuming it was beyond 7 inches or more?
I don't think she told me as far as how it measured, but let's just say through being choked up, she was pleasantly surprised. And it was above what you would consider, I guess, average.
Oh, wow.
And due to the shorter... I guess he was shorter than what she expected.
Oh my
it was quite the surprising imbalance, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I will say this much, just from what I have heard and from stories. I've been married 3 times, and from experiences, you really can't judge a book by its cover. You really, really cannot.
Interesting. That's an interesting factor.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, it is so true with what she said. You cannot judge a book by its cover because you just don't know what's in between those pages. That's
no, you
for
don't.
Sure.
And you can't judge it by what you read on the back either. You have to truly experience it all for yourself.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
You began the conversation with your opening, and I loved it, by the way. You definitely caught my attention. But your friend, would she ever be interested in a blind date, hookup, fix-up on behalf of her friend ever again, since she was pleasantly surprised?
She's more open to it. Absolutely. I think through those experiences, and that one in particular, she's learned to ask different questions.
Okay.
She's learned what her boundaries are. She's learned also what she's willing to do, or I guess, or not do. So I think she's open to it. Absolutely.
See, that's an interesting factor. And by the way, we definitely want you guys to write in and ask Betty questions on behalf of her friend, or if you had a dating experience that's extremely similar. We want your opinion. We want to hear from you guys. We want to have you guys be a part of our podcast. So in that case, we can correlate not just you, but just everything and anything that's going on in the dating scene, which I'm sure a lot of you women, connect with this experience on behalf of her friends. So, and we all have bones to pick. I mean, even just because I'm married, I still have maybe some bones, in my boneyard. Well, not really.
We'll get there one day.
Anyways, I'm not going to even bother. But I just personally would just love to hear from you, and I know Betty would too. I know she
absolutely.
would. Yeah.
We all have a story
We
to
do.
share. We all have a story we want to experience.
Mm-hmm.
We all have our versions to it, and just being able to connect with these women from all walks of life,
Right.
you just don't know what you're going to come across. It's amazing.
Well, I am so glad your friend allowed you to share the story, because it actually got me pretty excited there for a moment. I was like, oh my gosh, happening in a parking lot, her pleasantly...
It's pretty randy, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Randy, what do you mean? It's pretty, like...
Risque. Randy, mm-hmm.
But again, it's just really nice to see that a person like that treated her well throughout the night, but
Yeah.
she got turned on by the kiss, which the kiss led to going to the parking lot and hooking up, or call it whatever you want. But, definitely he had a happy ending.
Yeah, I did.
And today's question is, are you ready?
I'm ready. Born ready.
Dear Betty, I love watching... Oh, whoa!
It's a good one. I'll get to you in a minute.
Dear Betty, I love watching Betty's Boneyard. I loved hearing the story about your friend, and just want to know, did your friend use a condom while giving pleasure to the guy that was in the car? Oh, wow.
That's
was a
really...
good one.
Who the hell does that? Well, what? I mean, that's a great question, but I mean, no, not at all. I mean, no. I don't think I've ever really heard of anyone doing that while, giving oral pleasure. I mean, yeah, it's a safe practice, and I would say, yeah, for sure. But no.
So there you have it. Betty just answered the question. And ladies out there, it's your choice whether or not you want to go ahead and use a condom, as far as having safe oral sex.
Are there flavored condoms, though, that can make it at least pleasurable for the... No?
I don't know. I've heard there's edible condoms, right? Correct?
Okay, if they're edible, then that means you're eating them off, and then you're defeating the there's no purpose of using the condom then.
I guess
An edible condom?
I guess.
That's ridiculous. Actually, that's brilliant. Start off having safe oral sex, and then what? Just, we're getting closer by the minute. Oh my.
Well, we want to thank you for tuning in to Betty's Boneyard. And this
Thank
has
you for
been,
having me.
Oh God, wait a second. No, thank you for having me.
Oh,
I'm the one who's listening to your Boneyard stories. Hello, on behalf of your friends, which they're so generous to give us
Oh yeah.
the stories to obviously tell. So, any last words for the viewers?
Well, if you have a story you want to send in, I mean, by all means. Again, we all have that boneyard in our life, and if you care for you to dig up a bone of yours, we'll chat about it. You might help someone else.
But until then, have a bona fide week, and we'll see you soon in Betty's Boneyard.
Bye.
Bye.